Hey, if you're in your 30s and you feel like time is ticking and you haven't really accomplished much, you're not alone, and maybe we're just the late bloomers. I'm MJ, and I talk about reflections and my learnings from mistakes and just honest conversations. So welcome, and if you're returning, thanks for being here. It's been a minute. If you stick around to the end, I will share a little bit about my visit to Korea because I haven't uploaded anything regarding my trip. So, last few years, I've really been doing deep healing and searching for myself. And I think maybe it's kind of normal thing to happen during your 30s. But at the same time, I can't help to feel a little bit anxious about how time is keep going and it feels like it's going faster and faster, and I haven't figured anything out yet. So, as we approach to this new year of Fire Horse, I hear that this year is going to be full of actions and movement. I don't know how that is going to manifest in my life, but I decided to pick up a book. I picked up this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a famous book and it's a popular one. And I am about halfway, and I can see why it's really popular. It's been giving me a lots of inspirations and hope in a sense. So I feel inspired to show up here and maybe share a little bit what I have learned so far in this book. Um, and I will maybe name about 4 to 5 things. So the first thing that I like to share about this book, what I learned from it, is that the change doesn't happen overnight. I don't know about you, but I am always kind of this hoping for just big bang where I go through this big change overnight. But even though I have been consistently trying, it hasn't been very successful, which that's probably why that led me to this book. Um, but I learned that the change doesn't usually happen overnight. And doing a little bit of reflecting, um, just big growth and evolvement that I've been going through, it actually happens in a very subtle way, just a little bit at a time. That when you look back one day, it's like you realize, wow, that was a big change, which was unnoticeable because it happened a little bit at a time. So I really resonated that part where instead of trying to make a huge change overnight, maybe I can tweak a little bit of my habit here and a little bit of, take out a little bit of negative habits and try to work on myself just by a little bit at a time. And that brings to the second thing that I learned from this book is that habits shape our identity and our identity shapes our habits. And this section talks about how we are always trying to change something or like to um, achieve a goal from a very surface level. And from my own example, I every year try to lose weight for the summer. And then sometimes I'm successful and I will lose a few pounds during the summer. And then as soon as summer goes by, I end up gaining some weight again. And it's just been a consistent cycle every year. And I think it's because I am striving towards the goal, which is losing weight. But I don't necessarily change my identity. Although it almost feels like my identity has become something or someone that who always has to work on losing weight instead of changing my identity into somebody that who just has healthy habits and eats healthy all year round. Just things like that. And another thing that I tell myself is that I'm not very good at following through with plans. And I could really shift that identity into someone that who is very good at following through with plans. Because that brings to my lesson 3. It's important to be able to structure your day and have a plans. As I mentioned, I have always told myself that I'm not very good at following through with plans. So I will have this big, huge plan and the goal, and I will try to accomplish it for first few days or maybe even a week, and I end up not following through with it. It's probably because I set too high of a goal and expectations for myself, but it's probably because of deep inside that I believe that I am not someone who follows through the plans and that I'm spontaneous. But this book also reminds me that having structures and plans throughout your days, it gives you more freedom to be spontaneous, which I just really resonated with because I would like to be spontaneous, but honestly, a lot of times my day to day is a little bit chaotic. And so that brings to number 3. Did I say number 3? Maybe number 4. And it's about repeating. So this book talks about doing things in quantity over quality. So more you do it, you are more likely to create this habit of doing something, which is a great idea. And that's why I have decided to show up today, share what I've been learning so far, even though I'm not finished reading the book. I wanted to make a habit of just showing up in front of camera and sharing of what I'm learning or my thoughts more often and post them so it becomes more like a habit, because a lot of times it's a bit of a struggle and I meet with a lot of resistance when I plan to come and show up and record. So I have decided that maybe even if my videos aren't great and maybe time to times I'll be rambling away, it's important for me to show up consistently, which I tried in the beginning of this channel, which I failed to do, but I will try again. And as long as I keep trying, I think that maybe eventually it will kind of catch on to it. And once I become more comfortable, it will give me more room to be creative. with my expressions and how I create my video. And that brings to the fifth one. Um, and it's about focusing on the process rather than the goal and the outcome of it, which is very difficult for me. I don't know about you, but I've been always been like very goal driven, and this book talks about how it's hard for us and a lot of us like don't follow through with our new habit or the routine or the process because we don't see the dramatic like result. Um, so we feel like it's not working and we end up not being motivated and giving up. But in reality, we might have been actually so close to doing that breakthrough, but we just didn't see enough result. So maybe we gave up a little too early, which is story of my life for me. So this time I'm gonna focus more on the process of it and try to have fun and make it so it's doable instead of something just ridiculous and I can't follow through. Um, so yeah, those five things are what I've been learning so far. And it's been very inspiring and I feel like it's a game changer. I feel excited that I finally know how to get there, if you know what I mean. Because if we don't try, we might just end up being stuck at stage of where we're planning and thinking and dreaming and never actually go through the breakthrough and just create something. Because I think that's one of our main purposes to create something. So I'm kind of curious if um, you have the read if you have read the book, and if not, what are some of your habits that you could really get rid of? um, and what are some of the new habits that you could incorporate into your everyday routine that could really um, help you achieve your goal in the future in a longer run? If you will, I would really like to know um, what your thoughts are about it. And yeah, I invite you to just really try taking small changes um, so we can eventually get somewhere and hopefully become the best version of ourselves and experience the full potential of ourselves because deep inside I do truly believe that anything is possible and if we are able to work through our fears and doubts and learn to try things that are uncomfortable, maybe we'll get to one day. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you are interested in hearing about my updates about my visit to Korea, I don't know what I really expected before visiting there. I was just really excited because it's been 20 years since I visited last or saw my parents last. Um, but when I got there, somehow I picked the coldest day of year, and I really got to do nothing but sit at home and revisit my past. We had a lot of conversations, me and my parents, and just really got to let go of a lot of things. And it was an opportunity to kind of like recreate our story, because it's kind of funny thing how we remember things and how we don't remember a lot of things too. And we really got to revisit and rewrite the story where we were able to process and let go of a lot of like negative things and really remember the happy times. So it was a great time, but honestly, I didn't get to go anywhere or do anything interesting. So I didn't have anything exciting to share with you. But when I visit next, or whenever I do something more interesting, I promise to share, but I haven't really made a special video about my trip because it actually ended up not being anything too exciting to share about. It was more about the time of reflection and healing, and yeah. So thanks for being here, and I hope you have a blessed day. I will see you on my next video. Bye.